Good day. It is Sunday, August 4th, 2019. Thank you very much for joining us here on YouTube. Veritas nunquam perit. Truth never perishes. That's our motto here at 7sentinels.com. Today, we're going to talk about our mission. And as we do so, we're reminded of the immortal words of John F. Kennedy on September 12th, 1962, when before a crowd of about 40,000 people at the Rice University football stadium, he said the following: "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do these other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win." The task we have chosen, you and I, may hold virtually no importance at all to the vast majority of humanity. Unlike the space program of the 60s, its undertaking and success may remain mostly unknown outside of our relatively small circle of serious traders, but none of that diminishes the importance it signifies for us, nor the perseverance and patience required to see it through from beginning to end. Our mission is just precisely this: to align with the current bear market, one of the most significant in history, and to stay in sync with that entire cycle from top to bottom. Below are two examples of past bear markets from the last decade. The one which began in the year 2000 and carried all the way down into 2003. The next one, which began in 2007 and carried down, as we see on this chart of the Standard & Poor's 500, into 2009. Now, until now, Jesse Livermore is the only individual who has been documented in detail to have done so by hundreds of sources through an entire primary bear cycle. The hyperlink to the entire book will be provided to people who are watching this video right now at the end of this article. We'll get into that later. But we do encourage serious traders to read this biographical novel, because Edwin LaFleur, from perhaps thousands of hours of interview with Jesse Livermore, retells in first person what Livermore experienced and learned through a lifetime of trading. Livermore emerged from the 1929 to 1932 bear cycle with over $100 million in cash, or about $1.2 billion in 2019 dollars. He'd begun his trading career with a mere $5 earned as a chalkboard marker at a brokerage firm when he was 15 years old. We hyperlink that book and the documentation of these accomplishments, and we'll talk about that later. But the above is not a task to be attempted by those in the trading crowd who do not have the requisite skills, those weapons with which we arm our subscribers. Additionally, those who choose this mission need to dedicate themselves to its accomplishment despite the difficulties and emotional vicissitudes that it will produce along the way. We cannot overstate the importance of this understanding. This mission is as vital to us as the Apollo program was to those responsible for its success. all of that said, let's take a brief overview of where we are in this process, and we will follow up this video today that you are watching with several more that go into much more detail. We'll just give you the broad picture today. We're right now looking at the last 25 years of the monthly New York Stock Exchange Composite Index. What we see over that period is several bull markets, bear markets, bull markets, bear markets, bull markets, bear markets, and then here is each of these, of course, has a top, and here is the top that has formed over the period of 2017 to 2019. It may interest those who were unaware of this that unlike the Standard & Poor's 500, which has made a series of new highs in January of 2018, and then in October of 2018, and then in July of 2019, the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index made its first high in January of 2018, and then a lower high in October of 2018, and then a lower yet high in July of 2019. Carving out a classical triple top. This is of key importance. Here is the Standard & Poor's 500 monthly, and you see the first high in 2018, the second high in 2018, the third high just this last month in 2019, versus the three lower peaks in of the New York Stock Exchange Composite. Here is the Relative Strength Index, and we'll talk about that briefly. New York Stock Exchange Index followed with two lower highs for the Standard & Poor's 500 in 2018 and 2019 as the Standard & Poor's made those new highs. Here is that pattern in the year 2000. We had a peak back in 1999, a lower peak in early 2000, lower and lower and lower and lower peaks to the final high, which was just 63 on the RSI at the final peak of 2000 of the year 2000 for the Standard & Poor's 500. Here's that same pattern in 2007. First peak back in 2006, and then lower and lower and lower highs for the RSI as the Standard & Poor's 500 made new highs, ultimately taking us to the final peak in 2007 before that bear market, these two bear markets that we talked about, began. That's the setup for this bear market and this bear market, and that is the setup, my friends, for the market right exactly now. In addition to the fact that the RSI right now, or last week when the market peaked on July 28th, was 63, just like it was in 2000 at the peak, just like it was in 2007 at the peak. It was 63 last week at 2019 at the peak. That's the RSI of the Standard & Poor's 500. Same setup, same program, and as Jesse Moore would, as Livermore would tell us, Jesse Livermore, I'm sorry, would tell us everything that has happened in the market, or everything that does happen in the market, has happened before and will happen again, and that we're seeing an example of that right now. As the Standard & Poor's 500 made new highs just this last month in July, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line failed to confirm it. The Russell 2000, and that we'll talk about. Many may not know what we're talking about when we say that. We'll document that and show you in detail in some videos that will be coming out in the next week or two. The Russell 2000 fell far short and failed to confirm. The Dow Jones Transportations fell far short and failed to confirm. And as we've been talking about, the New York Stock Exchange Composite failed and fell short. Here is the non-confirmation, small as it may be, in the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line. Here is the non-confirmation in the Russell 2000, non-confirmation in the Dow Jones Transportations, non-confirmation in the New York Stock Exchange Composite. We'll show these in much more detail in upcoming videos. We learned what truly matters through Livermore, an intense study of Jesse Livermore's trading philosophy, which was born of pure observation and experience. From Livermore, we came to understand decades ago that what will make any determined trader successful is not following what should happen according to a setup, as many seem to believe in practice, but it is what is happening in the form of ongoing current trend. Traders become successful when they learn that. When they learn what matters is the direction of the market. Everything else is just theory. Real and lasting success comes from always aligning with the course of the market. In 2004, after decades of understanding the above prime directive for trading, we designed an objective measure of market direction. We named it the 7 Sentinels. Ultimately, we broke that direction indicator into 6 different time frames, of which 2 now drive every single trade that we do. At 7sentinels.com, we never, ever trade on opinion. And as we like to say, especially our own, we do not trade on our opinion or anybody else's. We trade only on the trend indicators and what they are saying, and we have objective measures set up to determine what our trade will be at all times. Primary one being the line of least resistance indicator. We always trade in the direction of the LR, the line of least resistance, and you'll read more about that in upcoming or past recordings here at YouTube. So that's all we're going to say today about all this. There will be quite a bit more coming up. In particular, just a few days ago, we wrote an article called Moment of Truth, and we're going to highlight that in our next recording. And in Moment of Truth, we talked about the fact that we have arrived. We are there, and we showed exactly why. So we'll get to that next week. All we want to say, though, today is these things. If you go to 7sentinels.com, you don't have to be a member to go to 7sentinels.com and look at the articles that are linked there. There are a whole lot of interesting articles that explain throughout 2017, 18, and 19 how the top was setting up for the primary bear market in which we have now entered. And those are all linked there. They're free for the reading. All you have to do is click on them and read them. The article from which we are making this recording will be added to this list, and you'll be able to read that too. And when you do, you'll see hyperlinks first to Jesse Livermore's entire book, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, written by Edward Lefebvre, and it's all there. All you have to do is click on it, download it and read it, or read it right offline without downloading, but it's all there. The entire book, one of the most valuable pieces of trading philosophy and information that a trader could ever hope to learn from. So take a look at that. There will also be documentation of Livermore's accomplishments. Also, we want to mention that as we are now embarking on this journey, as this bear market is now getting underway, we really want as many people with us as we can have, because we believe that we are going to all go through a very exciting journey together, and we'd love to have as many as possible on board with us. Today, this week only, we are going to offer the best trial offer that we've offered all year, and that is you just click on limited time trial and it will take you to a page that will allow you to have 7 full days of 7 Sentinels, all of our interday remarks, all of our nightly comments, all of our charts, all of our weekly overviews, all of our trades explained in detail and presented in real time, all of it for just $4.95 for 7 days. We're only doing that for a few days. It's the only time this year we've done it or will do it. And we invite you to click on limited time trial and just check us out for a week. I think you'll be interested in what we have to say and how it's going to have an impact on your success. So we hope you do so. We want to thank you one more time for coming to this YouTube video today, and we wish you great trading.